I've tried a lot of setups this year, mostly focusing on the day planner pages. These are undated, and I think they're meant to be a one-page insert that if you have an extra busy day or you need some defined spaces with, categories, although I never really used the categories. I really used the differentiation in space on one side and a blank page on the other, but I used them as a two-page spread, so I would do my general lists on this side and a quote, a medicine, a food journal, and usually I put down here anything I had to shop for that particular day, but it kind of varied. I mean, I really did sort of what I wanted to do, and if I needed more space, I added an extra sheet with no holes, and I taped it to the top, and it was good for 2 days. And I used those in conjunction with primarily the week on 2 pages. I've had the lined and I've had the unlined version. Definitely did better with the lined version, but was never really happy with the way they looked. I don't know, they always looked sort of messy to me. I also had the week on a page, which is a week on the left side of the page and a blank note page on the right side of the page. And I've been having a lot of issues, I guess, trying to make all this work for me. The space I saved with the 2 page per day insert, I lost because I was using a lot of daily room, and down here has always been sort of a problem for me. I really don't use the space every day, but I want it available to me. And this in particular was an issue. I have another insert that I got. It was a limited edition insert for a pocket, and they scrolled the month across the top. And I found that a much easier way for me to figure out where I was in the month on something like this. Plus, Sunday is already small, and now it's cut down to a note or two. Doesn't even have the space I need for the days that I write the smallest amount. So the other thing is, these always ended up bothering me, and I ended up not using them a lot. Even when I tried to decorate them, they just looked chaotic to me. I didn't, pre-decorate them and make them into, something more artsy, because I was afraid I was going to take up what little space I had doing that. I think the problem partly was they're so non-uniform. I didn't use the same ink, I didn't use the same anything. And I didn't enjoy going back to them. And that's really me. Some people it might not have bothered, but this really bugs me. So I was looking on the Filofax website, and I know that I wrote a post about this. There is a 2 day per page insert that I thought only came in pocket, but it doesn't. It also comes in personal size. I'm not sure about A5. I didn't look. What this gives you is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and half a page for notes every week. So I'm adding a few more pages, but I have to say it is really working out. Now the first day I tried to do it without, I put some paper behind it so I could get straight lines, but I still didn't like it. And the second day I added a post-it, and I'm still not crazy about it. And I did that for a couple of days, and I would say it looks okay, but it still has that chaotic thing that bothered me with the other pages. And then I hit on something. In a swap, I got something from Susan, and it's a little stationery kit. It has a little note sticky pad, it has a graph sticky pad, it has some stickers and some flags, and I cut down the graph sticky pad to fit the space, which only amounted to cutting off, I think, 2 squares on that side, or maybe 1 square, I don't remember, and just pasting it on there. And then I used a graph paper. I know Kate sent me this, and I double punched it, because initially I thought I would do a line across here and do the days that matched, but on the days that were I wanted to write more, I just flipped the page for the next day. And this is working for me. I like using the graph paper. I really do better with graph paper. Everything looks more neat and uniform to me, and while I have a little bit of tape on all of these, it's primarily the graph paper that keeps my writing in line. The other thing that I started to do was, this is the gray Pilot juice pen that I actually took that rubber comfort grip off, so it would be easier to put in the, the pen loops. I've started primarily using this pen. I really like it. It'll certainly save me money if I'm only using one pen, because I won't be buying a million pens. And I have a million pens that I just don't use. I mean, the truth is I really like this gray pen, and I like blue and green pens, like teal and green pens. And I don't use many of my pink and orange and red and purple pens. I just would rather look at these colors. So I guess the thing for me is I like decorating pages, but it's not the primary thing I'm doing. I'm really trying to make my life go smoother and cross out as many things on my to-do list as I can every day, so I'm not carrying them over. And I noticed that when I was using the week on 2 pages, I was crossing off less and less things. And when I started using this, I started crossing off more and more. As a matter of fact, this is yesterday. Almost everything is crossed off, and I can't remember the last time that happened. So for me, right now, what I have to say is these are working well for me. I am adding a small piece of graph paper here, and I'm actually finding that graph paper with between 6 and 8 squares per inch is what works for me. There's a lot of sizes of graph paper, but the something around 7 seems to work the best for my handwriting, and everything looks really neat. It doesn't have the chaos that I was finding, and it seems to be a workable solution for me. I've been doing it for about a week, and like I said, the more I do, the more stuff I get done. So what's working for me now are these 2-day per page inserts that are available on Filofax. They're dated. Using a gray pen, limiting the amount of highlighting. I'm only using one color per day at least. With a graph paper, with a sheet of graph paper with about the same graph spacing. I'm double punching them, and the longer I do this, the more stuff gets ticked off my to-do list. So I would have to say this is really, really working out well for me. Unfortunately, Filofax does not discount their yearly inserts. As far as I know, they're the only ones that don't do that. So this is probably the 3rd set I've bought this year at full price, but I think it takes a little bit of experimentation to find what will work for you. And at this, I'm sorry, Ginger's like snorkeling, if you heard her. Victor's just sleeping. But Ginger has some problems with sinuses, so she tends to make a lot of noise. Okay. So this is where I am. I wanted to do a video mainly about the this 2-day per page insert, because it's not a typical insert that people think about buying, but maybe consider it. It's definitely working out really well for me, and thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.